are some of the career options in the industry itself, basically?
Yeah, there are many actually, and I think you're right. The unsung heroes is such a beautiful word. Two words for whatever you just said. I've been very lucky that I've worked with some beautiful technicians. When I say technicians, they're called technicians in my industry, but they are DOP, which is director of photography, also called as cinematographer, editor. Then you have music director, you have production designer, also called as art director. Then you have first assistant director, also called as first AD, the direction team that comprises of the first AD and his team, or her team for that matter. Then you've got there are songs, then there is a lyricist, then there are writers who are behind the scenes. In the pre-production process, you have a lot of the direction team people. I pay a lot of attention to writing, Vishwas. So I have a writers team.
Right.
So my writing team, in fact, for Constable Girpade, that is out on October 6th, and if this interview drops after October 6th, you can watch it on Amazon Mini TV, Amazon Prime. I hope I can plug.
Please,
I just did.
Absolutely.
I just did, and there again, my writers, other than me, there is Abhinav Vaidya and Aditya Bharadwaj, again writers who have worked with me for almost 6-7 months, around 8 months to put the entire story together, write all the 10 episodes from a story and screenplay standpoint. There are editors, without whom you cannot put the show out. There is a vision that's captured of the director by the cinematographer, but then in the post-production process, you have an editor who has to edit it to beat. And when I say to beat, editing a comedy show, for example, or a comedy movie is different from editing a thriller. It's different from editing a horror, because each genre has a different beat, has a different style of it, right? Like if there is a jump scare moment in horror, it has to be edited differently. Right. If it's a punchline where I am, say, insulting someone, and on the other side, I need to get an expression. That timing of that edit is very important. So Bharat MC, who's been my long-time editing partner and friend, very dear friend, he's edited Humble Politician Nagaraj. He's edited Constable Girpade as well. And we have a great understanding and tuning. And I feel without technicians, a director is literally someone looking for water in a desert.
I know.
Because a lot of what all of them provide fills that bottle with water. Right. Each drop is, I would say, a lot of the sweat of a technician from the back end. Right. And I always make sure that it's just not the cast, but it's also the cast and crew. Right. And everyone comes together to make the actors look good on camera, as you know. Right. Look good, sound good. So the sound team, people who I did sing sound, even for Humble, even for Girpade. Right. For the web series of Humble, I did sing sound, which means everything was captured on set. Live sound was captured. Yeah. So the sound design plays an important role. Right. How do you get different sounds to come? The dialogues have to be treated with ambience. Like how we're talking right now. Right. If we were, say, in a metro, there would be metro ambience. Yes. That has to be then treated on the dialogues. Right. And then there is Foley. Foley is sounds that you make without electronic means. Right. A clap is a Foley. The sounds that my shirt is making when I'm moving is Foley. Right. Or sound effects. Say I crack a joke, I need a sound effect, which is maybe cricket sound, right? So that's sound effect. So all this comes together by the sound designer. He takes the BGM, he or she takes the background music to merge all of this. So it's a lot of things that come together. We just go watch a show and a movie, and in 30 seconds we're like, yaar, bakwas hai, or amazing. But the amount of work that goes in the back end, it's insane. Right.
So if somebody wants to seriously consider, especially after the OTT boom, right? If somebody wants to consider this as a career, how would one start? I mean, how would even one get started on this whole?
I'm absolutely crazy ambition mixed with determined passion and relentlessness. I mean, because once you do well in the industry, then you have many options, and as you all know that there is a certain fame aspect as well. But having said that, I think it's a lot of determination. You have to be completely smitten by your work. And I'm sure like you are a writer as well, and you're a techie as well. But there's a certain passion that you function with. That's why you're able to do so many things. I think that is synonymous for all industries, Vishwas. Right? Yeah. That it's absolutely in that fire in the belly that people talk about. Like I feel like with every project, that fire for me keeps on increasing.
Right.
It almost comes up to my, not just from the belly, it comes up here, goes down below. No pun intended again. But I think that if that is not there,
Right.
then there is no start. Once you have that, then you apprentice yourself.
Right.
You learn, there is a lot of ways. Either you go to film school. If you don't have that kind of money, then you go and assist directors who you want to work with, who you want to learn from. Spend time with them. If you want to be an editor, go and assist an editor. If you want to be a cinematographer, go and learn about photography and lighting. A lot of it is learning.
So these things can be in the media school is something that people learn all of this.
Absolutely. There is film school, there's FTII, there is a lot of different film schools in the world. That's one place, or you could really learn at work, which is learning with filmmakers. That's also great. I was assisting Mr. Ashutosh Gowarikar for a year, who made Lagan. I worked with him. Yes, of course. I worked with him for a year in Bombay, and it was a beautiful experience because I was working with an Oscar-nominated filmmaker when I was working with him, and I worked with him after Lagan. And it was really nice because I also did film school, but I also got that experience. And what I did in film school and what I did with Mr. Gowarikar, very different. Both different learnings.
Right.
And in fact, even today I'm still learning. With every project I'm learning.
Right.
Because with every project I'm dealing with different actors, I'm dealing with different technicians.
Absolutely.
So it's a constant learning process, and it's persistent learning.
Right.
Yeah.
And you keep challenging yourself, right?
That's the only way. Yeah, that if you don't challenge yourself, then what's the fun? I mean, if I need to make a comedy show or a comedy movie, if at the end of it you're not laughing, then of course I've not done my job well. At the end of it all, I feel it's a job.
Right.
Like being an artist is a job.
Right.
Like being a software developer is a job, programmer is a job, architect is a job.
Right.
This also is a job, and you are doing it for a certain return, and that return for us is the audience's appreciation and approval.
Right. See, one thing people keep asking me is like, as a career coach, right? So everything people ask is like, okay, how much can I make?
Okay.
Right?
It's very important.
So if I'm a software engineer,
Yeah.
how much can I make?
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm basically a business manager or a sales manager, whatever, how much can I make? So everybody is asking me. So basically now, if somebody looks at a career like a technician or a cameraman or I don't know, a number of things that you guys have, what can they expect? How much money they can make?
Well, they can make a lot of money.
Okay.
Of course. I mean, look at the films now. People said during COVID that theatre movies are not going to work. The theatrical movies are making 1,000 crores, 500 crores, and not just in Hindi, in other languages also.
Right.
And your value only increases with more money at the box office.
Right.
Also, with the advent of OTT, there are so many different technical jobs in the industry that have come to the fore that are well-paying jobs.
Right.
I know cinematographers who do 3-4 projects a year, and they make enough money for a year that is good for maybe 4 years for another career.
Right.
They can make in 1 year.
Okay. How much? Like, I'm just want to give an idea to the audience. Okay,
It
how
depends.
much
I mean,
they can,
I'll give you a ballpark. I
Yeah.
mean, I have to do a monthly salary. Right. If you are an OTT director, for example, and if you can demand for a particular project. If you're a first-time OTT director, but you've got a web series that's coming out, say I'll give you a very basic platform. Say I will not name a platform. Say one of the platforms that we watch, right? But if it's a debutant director, maybe you might not garner that much money in the beginning, but you'll still be paid a decent sum, which can be anywhere between, I would say, a minimum. I'm just throwing a range out, 10 to 15 lakhs. Right, and that you probably spend about 8-9 months on that project.
Right.
But the moment you finish one and then you go on to the next, obviously, in this industry, it's project to project.
Right.
Like if you're doing a corporate job, you're going to get your perks, you're going to get your, your promotion based on how you performed. Sometimes 1 year, sometimes 2 years or 3 years based on the HR policy. For us, it's about a project. If your first project, imagine your first project, you hit it out of the park.
Right.
You just do fabulously. Your second project, it's up to you what you want to charge, because by then you'll have people be like, okay, we really want you, so you tell us the price.
Right.
And that's how it works.
Right. That's really informative, I think, for a lot of you out there thinking that, okay, this is offbeat and then maybe I'm going to make it or not. I think that kind of fear one should not have.
That's with any other industry, I feel.
Right.
But yes, of course, I agree with you. I resonate with that.
Because this is a slightly offbeat,
Yes, of course. It's not a first career choice. It's not like, baby is like, hey, director बनाएंगे.
Exactly.
इसको actors बनाएंगे. It doesn't work like that. Yeah.
It doesn't come in the engineer and
Engineer, doctor,
doctor.
IT, MBA space.
So
Yeah, it's definitely, but yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely a little bit of a gamble. I would not deny that, but I think you also have to have that kind of perseverance and the passion for it.
Absolutely.
And I always tell this to all aspiring people in the industry, whoever wants to be either a director or an editor or a writer, is that you first make sure that you have competency for it, which means you gather the knowledge for it. That knowledge can either come from reading or watching or working with someone. But once you have that kind of knowledge, you keep building on it. And at some point, you will get your break. It's just a matter of time.
From the ashes of the world, a hero must rise. This is the concept of the best-selling novel that I have written, The Last Avatar, Age of Kalki trilogy, the first book. So I would recommend pick it up from Amazon or Flipkart and get your copy right now.